So use your eyes. I save old nails. I just save them. I mean, when I take something apart, if there's any extra nails, these are all old hand-cut antique square nails. I have 2 or 3 drawers like this full of them. I get the appropriate size of what came out of there. And I'm going to put it right back in the same area. I think that's hitting nothing. Yeah, it's coming out inside the drawer. Apparently this has shrunk. Typically things do shrink with age and time. I'm just going to scoot it over and create a new hole. Right, that went into a new hole in the back. It made its own. So we keep the authenticity up with the square nails. Now we just let it dry. A couple hours maybe. Another problem this this piece had is this drawer pull. It was broken. The end of it was broken off. And so I just cut a straight line across there, and I inserted a piece, glued it in there flat on the back side, and just glued it and left it overnight. Now I got to shape that down. So I took a healthy one that's on this side of the drawer, took it off, and I keep the screws in the same hole so I can keep up with them. And I put them back to back, and I traced across this one, traced the outline. I've cut this out with a bandsaw and also a coping saw. So I got the silhouette, I got the outline of it right. Now I've got to carve this one to look like that one. Now somebody had tried to glue this thing in there, and they filled these holes, the mounting holes, up with glue. So I've got to drill those out. I got to get that glue out of there. I may be able to just punch a nail through the backside and just knock it out. You have to be careful about pushing from the backside of anything. This is veneered, and it'll knock that veneer off very, very easily. Alright, in this case, that tactic worked. I keep old screws as well. These are number 10 by 1 1/4. And so this one screw hole was missing and gone when I replaced the new part. The screw hole ends up in the new part. So I'm going to put the old screw, the one screw hole, back in here and locate it where this goes. Now you'll notice something, that screw only sticks out about 5/16 because that's in a thin place. See, this is where that screw is located. It's only about 3/8 right there. You got to be really careful not to punch through there or crack this thing. So you have to drill a pilot hole, but you have to really tread lightly on how deep that pilot hole goes. That says it's right. About right there. Now what I'm going to do is mark from the inside out. There's a hole where this where the screw used to be. I'm going to take a drill and barely drill into that. Barely. And the screw that's got to go in there is this number 10 screw. So there's the little hole that I drilled. It's only about not even 1/8 of an inch deep. So I'm going to deepen that. Now it's about that deep, maybe 5/16. I'm going to go ahead and run that screw in there about 1/4. And the way I can tell if that's deep enough is put it against this drawer front. until, with this sitting on the front, the back of that screw is about a 1/16 below this surface. It's countersunk about that much. So that's appropriate depth for the thread tapping. This mounting block allows me to hold it this way or this way, and I can rotate the vise. So that gives me a lot of options. most of the time, Golden Oak Stain by Minwax is a pretty good match for old walnut stuff, because as things get older, they kind of amber out a little bit. They get kind of golden, no matter what kind of wood it is. Oak, walnut, cherry. Cherry gets darker with age. Cherry gets black. The older cherry is, the blacker it is. The older walnut is, the more it bleaches out. It's called photoreactivity. It's what sunlight and oxygen, oxidization, does to wood. It's how wood, the chemicals in wood react to air, is what it is. This is a pretty good match, and obviously I'm going to put some varnish on it, but as far as just matching what I had, it's pretty decent. Most people won't see it or question it. You can buy these things. Actually, I think Van Dyke's used to sell them, but this one just had the bottom of it missing down here, and so since it was here, I just went ahead and fixed it. You can see there's a shine to this one, the original one, and the upper part of this one has got a gloss to it. This doesn't have a gloss because there's no finish on it. It's just color. It's just stain. But when I put some finish on this, it'll get some shine as well. Now, I'm not quite done with this. I've got to do the inside. See, the inside of that is hollowed out. See, that's for your fingers to grip underneath here. And I can't get to the inside with this block in the way, so I'm going to have to pull this block off and just hold this by hand and just hang on to it and clean that inside out, because it's rough and it needs to be stained and it needs to be smoothed up. I can live with that.